the Desert Eagle. This gun is impractical and it's huge. But in spite of that, I carry it very frequently. Now, if you've watched any reviews on this gun, people talking about it, one of the main problems, other than the fact that it's huge, it weighs 5 pounds and it's just really impractical, one of their biggest downsides is going to be the safety on the firearm. The biggest problem with it is that in a normal-sized person's hands, you cannot actuate this thing reasonably, take the safety off. So, in this video, I'm going to be making an extended lever out of this one. I do know that they make one that has a slight tang on it. That isn't enough. I want to make it longer so that you can take the handgun out of the holster with one hand and remove the safety reasonably with one hand, not like I just did. So let's get to it and see what we can do with it. Now, before I go any further, I just want to kind of counter a point people are probably going to be making. They're going to say this is unsafe to modify the safety. And by modify the safety, I mean make it longer. I'm not actually modifying the function of the safety at all. The only thing I'm doing is extending this tang, okay, downward some. I'm not making it any easier to actuate at all. So, you know, if you don't like that and you think it's unsafe, well, too bad. It's my gun. I carry it. I'm responsible for carrying it. None of these holsters that has any effect on whatsoever. As you can see, it's not going to hit the holster or anything. I've got a couple other holsters up there I'm going to try it on when I'm done to just show you that it's going to be perfectly safe. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this little tang here, at least the vast majority of it. So I've just got it kind of lightly screwed onto the weapon right now. And if you look at it, let me get it to focus here. This section is 1/4 inch thick on the factory safety lever. So that's a 1/4 inch from that. The tallest point to the base is a 1/4 inch, okay? So what I'm going to do is I am going to use a 1/4 inch thick piece of bar stock, okay? And it's wider, I'll have to narrow it. I'm going to make it about the same width, so that'll be, what is that? 1/2 inch wide. So it'll be 1/2 inch wide. And I've determined I'm going to make it, to start off, I'm going to make it too long. But I'm going to make it, probably end up being around this long so it doesn't go past the slide. But this should allow me to actuate the safety very easily rather than reaching all the way up here. All right, I marked this off. I'm cutting it to 1.5 inches by 1/2 inch wide. Only set the shirt on fire a little bit. I did remove all the material off of this, and I will clean it off, take the oils off my hands, or from my hands, before I weld it. But I think you can see the idea I'm going for now, okay? Now, obviously, this is too long. I just made it way too long so I can work with it. But what I'm thinking now that I'm looking at it, okay, I'm going to leave a gap here so I can run a bead at the top here. I'll run one down the side, and the little tack at this outer edge here, probably. And what I'm going to do after I get this thing attached here, physically, is I'm just going to shorten it to where I can use it. Because as it is, it's, like I said, far too long. So let's get this thing welded, and then we'll tune the length. Alright, so I have the thing affixed here. Yeah, it looks like crap right now. I'm aware. What I'm seeing is a problem is, first off, the slide release. A little bit too long, so I marked where I want to cut it. I'm going to cut it on the bottom edge of that mark to start off. And also this grip, just a little too thick right there. So what I think I'm going to do is just slice this, just cut a little bit of thickness off of that 1/4 inch bar stock right there and then cut the length down. So let's do that first, and then we'll work on making it look all pretty, which it never will. As ugly as it may look, this thing works great. So far, off. No problem. This is what the damn thing should come with. Off. Now, the one complaint I have, after just messing with it for a few minutes, is this side profile is actually a little too thin. And it doesn't have to do with me removing the thickness here. It's just, needs to be a little farther out from the pistol. So, I have an idea. I think what I'm going to do is take some of this small diameter round stock, and I might shape it to that curve I've got going on here. Just to give it just a little more purchase so you can get a better grip on it. So, what you're seeing is pretty much physically the final product. Now, one thing I want to mention is you really don't want this to stick farther than your slide, so I've got it pretty much flush with the slide. I might grind that down just a tiny bit more, but you don't want to be able to put your hand on this tang and slice it open, so don't have it any farther down than that. But I'm really happy with it. Look, I can take the safety off with one hand. No problem. You can't put it on with one hand, but you can take it off with one hand, no problem. That round stock worked really well. You could use something else if you wanted. That's what I had laying around, so I'm pretty happy with that. All right, this is a final fit and function test on it. I've smoothed all the rough edges with a file and the flat sander, so there's nothing rough on this. I did not weld this back side here. I didn't want to have to clean that up. See how it fits in the holster? Okay, see, there's no interaction here at all. But here's the best part. I can take the gun out, take the safety off, and fire the weapon with one hand. I don't need two hands to fire it. That's a lot better. So there you go. That's how to make a Desert Eagle more useful. I'm really happy with this. I can actually operate the safety with one hand. That's what I want to be able to do. Like I said, I do carry this gun. People think it's ridiculous. Well, on the internet, I'm sure they will. But I just like it. I really like this gun. I get so many compliments on this thing. People love this. I mean, look at it. It's just it's a cartoon character. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. And yes, I know you're wondering. It works fine with the concealed carry holster.